lengthening the tubes. I don't insert the tubes deeply here because lace follows down. I just lengthen the tube and drop some school glue. Later we will be bending the poles toward the center, so to prevent them from sliding out I stick them with some glue. Continue lengthening. It's a kind of mechanic action. Your tube's length can differ, so maybe you can choose a length sufficient to do without any lengthening. However, if you work with long triple poles from the very beginning, it's not convenient working like this. With my length of tubes, it is right where it's time to lengthen, before I start bending the poles toward inside. I've lengthened the poles, woven 3 rows, and now I'm starting to taper the shape. Make sure that your poles are directed equally toward the center from every point. And continue weaving 10 up to 12 rows. The stumps left from the previous poles are getting hidden gradually. I don't cut them on purpose. So, I've woven 10 rows narrowing the shape. Before weaving the last 2 rows, I've added 1 additional tube to each hole in order to make edging in the end. I've already moistened the tubes, I'm doing again. I've edged the first article just as it was going. I believe most of you have already dealt with this type of edging. I've edged the first lampshade like this, so I'm trying to edge the 2 remaining ones in the same style. Take a pair of poles and lead them behind the first pair, in front of the second, behind the third one. We do have a tutorial on a similar edging on our site. This one is just a variety of it. Repeat the actions for every pair. Behind the first one, in front of the second, behind the third, and lead outside. Behind the first, in front of the second, behind the third, lead outside, this way up to the end of the row, and finish according to the pattern. So finish the row following the pattern. Behind the first one, in front of the second, behind the third, behind the first, in front of the second, and lead outside behind the third one. The last pair of tubes is left. Behind the first one, in front of the second, just lay it according to the pattern and you are unlikely to make a mistake. And under the third one. As a result, a pair of tubes sticks out of each pole. Now retake each pair of tubes and lead it in front of the following pole through the hole. Try to lay them in couples and avoid crossing them. Every time I make edge, and I try making it in some different way. I don't like doing every time at the same time. That's why I stopped calling them anyhow. I believe such edging does exist already because many of you like experimenting. You could lead a pair of tubes through that hole, for example, but I've chosen this one and I'm trying to lead each pair through the same gap every time. It is the second stage of edge making. There is still going to be the third one. We are going to hide the tails inside. So we are getting a kind of braid from the outside edge. Continue weaving this way up to the end of the row. And the last stage of edging, for the tails not to stick, we are going to hide them in the well-known way applied to edges many times before. I'm placing each pair onto the following one and leading it down. At the same time I'm pulling them tight in order to make the braid smoother. This way up to the end of the row. Lead the last pair through the first loop. Look, you're getting a kind of additional board, and all the tails are hidden inside. Afterwards I'm going to cover the edge with glue and cut the tails. Even if I fail to cut some tubes up, it will not be seen from the outside. So it is the kind of edge we've got. Now take the stripes out very carefully. They are short and easy to take out. Try to pull them out in such a way to avoid breaking the rows. Very, very carefully. As you see, the rows slide, so I take the stripes out very carefully and cover the rows with thick school glue overnight. I add just a bit of water to glue to keep it thick. And leave for a night. After which I'm going to embroider over the mesh. As well, I'd like to show you how to form a hole to lead a wire through. Let me show it to you in the example of this article. Well, maybe some of you can propose a better idea, but it is the way I do. There are 4 strands consisting of 4 tubes each. I cut them with the help of nippers, 2 from each side. These are going to be the poles I will tuck in and weave narrowing for a bulb holder to sit into the hollow I'm going to form. I've cut the tubes from one side and from the other side. You can already see the poles. I'm going to lead them down afterwards. I still have to cut 4 more, from this side and from the other one. And the last 2 pairs. Now I bend them down in couples very carefully to avoid breaking them. Turn the article over. Well, maybe it would have been better to form it before making the edge. But it is the third time I'm weaving, and every time I get too fascinated by the process that I forget. So I come back here only after I've finished all the rest. Here are the poles, and I have to weave 3 rows in the technique of a regular rope with them. Actually, I can mask this edge with a so-called sharp toother, but it is where a bulb holder is supposed to sit, so I don't see any point in it. So you weave 3 rows and put a bulb holder here. The idea is clear. Actually, it's rather hard to weave there inside, so we can just cut the tails and stick a sharp toother there in order to narrow the gap a little. And now I'm going to cover the article with school glue. Tomorrow after it gets dry, I'll try to embroider it. So the mesh has been woven, covered with glue and dried. It's rather rigid, so you can work with it okay. You choose any of the lace patterns you like. I've used 3 different openwork patterns. I found all of them on Strana Masterov, Land of Masters website, in Natalia Sorokina's section. Thanks a lot to her for the ideas. Finally, I've taken my time to try these lace patterns. I like them a lot, it's very interesting to work with them. And I've got an idea to collect lace patterns on our site. So the one who would like weaving a lampshade but have no idea which lace pattern to apply could visit our site and see all possible patterns. I propose you to join collecting the patterns. I'll share the links to the ones I found in my comments to the tutorial. If any of you have any other ideas, we will be very grateful for sharing. I believe not only we will be, but those helped this way will be also. This way we can save your time, cause you won't have to do any unnecessary search. So let's collect lace patterns in the comments to the tutorial on our site Plетение из газет, newspaper weaving. I'm continuing weaving a lace. I will share the links to all the lace patterns used, so you will be able to read the detailed instructions by Natalia Sorokina. I don't see any point in repeating her instructions. The only thing I'd like to share additionally is as follows. Yesterday we finished weaving the inside part, after which I decided it would be better to mask the stumps sticking with a sharp toother. The central small circle is where a bulb holder will sit. And mask it. As for the wider circle, I believe it's better to decorate it with a sharp toother. Besides, for some of the lace patterns, I've just glued the poles I weave lace with. I couldn't insert them into weaving because it was too tight. That's why I've just glued them, and with the help of a sharp toother I've decorated the edge that didn't look too nice before that. That's all. The only thing left is to lacquer the lampshades, and they are ready to use.